Welcome to another episode of Rap in Order. I'm First Class Regg.
And I'm Taurian B.
We have a very special guest joining us today. His name is Mo.
Mo Glow.
Hi, nice to meet you guys.
He has an amazing shirt on. Rest in peace, Anna Nicole Smith.
Greatest Vanessa in the world.
Mo, you want to tell
Greatest
us about
Vanessa.
You want to tell us about your podcast a little bit?
Oh, I do a podcast. Wow, I haven't did that in a while, but yeah, I do a podcast called Overfood Podcast. We just talk about just like general like social media stuff, like pop culture. No, it's just like, bro, I haven't recorded in like so long.
I'm sorry.
This is like my first, like recorded first podcast episode since like December, but I'm happy to be here. But yeah, recorded podcast. Shout out to everyone that made an appearance. I can't wait for you guys to make an appearance.
We'll be down, man.
Invite me over. I love talking my shit.
Thanks for having me here. This actually like one of my favorite shows. I always keep in tune. I'll be spamming the comment sections.
Yeah, bro.
Very in tune with this show. Been a fan before I even met these guys.
Thank you, bro. That's appreciate that. Well, damn, how I start the show after that? Okay. Well, right. So today, ladies and gentlemen, we're gonna get into the College Dropout. College Dropout is Kanye's official debut on Rockefeller Records. It was released in 2004 in February. Featured obviously production from Kanye himself. You had features from Jamie Foxx, Jay-Z, Ludacris, and GLC, Consequence, Twista, you know, can't forget Twista.
Most Def, Freeway.
Yeah, Selena Johnson, you know, coming in clutch, which we'll get into.
D-Ray Davis,
Miri Ben-Ari, you know, the hip-hop violinist, John Legend. Like, there's so many people that came to make this album what it was. And today it is heralded.
Did you mention Tyler Quali and his Fitteds?
I did not mention Talib, but yeah, Talib, stick to your ribs. But yeah, there's so many people on this album. A lot of work went into this album. If you saw the documentary Genius, part 1 or 2 in particular.
Part 2 was definitely
Part
dope.
2 was, Part 2 went more in depth into the making of this album and what Kanye went through to make this album. It went on to win Best rap album.
Did he win Best New Artist that year?
He did not win Best New Artist.
No, he didn't win Best New Artist.
I think Evanescence didn't win that year, right?
I forget, but I definitely know he didn't win Best New Artist. He should have won Best New Artist. And so should have 50. They both were robbed.
It was, that's
50
true.
lost to the Gorillas, I think.
Has 50, sorry to divert, has 50 ever won a Grammy?
Probably for a single.
Yeah,
I don't think so.
That's
50 has a Grammy.
crazy. To have a year like 50 had in 04, 03, and not win a Grammy as well.
A lot of people have won Grammys.
Yeah, I know.
Nas finally won his first Grammy.
He just won his first one. That was like a pity one. But Kanye did so much work leading into this album, right? As a producer, of course, he has the legend of producing the Blueprint in 2001. And from 2001 to 2004, when this album was released, it was just him in grind mode, producing, kind of as we saw in the backstory of his documentary, to just kind of be able to fund the making of this album is why he was producing so much. You know, we know the story about
lifestyle.
And his lifestyle and being the best dressed rapper, right?
Yeah.
Damn shit, I lost my thought. But we saw him in grind mode. We saw what he was trying to do, and he went, I think he said $33,000 in the hole from making Through the Wire video.
Mm-hmm.
So we saw the fruition. We saw how long he had Jesus Walks in the Tuck. We saw All Falls Down being passed around and people not really fucking with it or not seeing the vision yet. But of this album, we're years and years removed, and it's heralded as one of the 500 greatest albums from Rolling Stone. But I want to know what you guys think.
All right, I'll start.
Reflecting back on his career.
2004, my senior year of high school. This album was polarizing. This album spoke to me. I was feeling mad pressure to decide what college I was going to go to, and then you're hearing this guy basically say like, "Yo, like," I mean, it kind of fucked me up because it was basically telling me like college was bullshit, right? But knowing that he was kind of like feeling like he was an everyman, feeling that he was just like a regular person. Like I was a huge hip hop fan, and I had a lot of relatives that worked in the music industry. So actually, like knowing like, oh shit, like he's not a drug dealer. He's not like, you know what I'm saying, some kind of killer or anything like that. Like he's just like a rapper, but he's not. I hate saying it like this, right? When I was 17 years old, most definitely and Tyler, Quali, and Common, like their music was intimidating to me because it's very thought provoking. Like I knew it sounded good, like you know what I'm saying, but at 17 years old, like I just wanted to have fun. Like I just wanted to get girls and shit like that and dress nice. Like, that's the truth. Like you know, some people might be like, "Oh, you fucking simp," but it's like I was 17 years old.
Yeah, you were a kid. It's
right?
high school.
So then you hear Kanye West, and like he kind of like finds like a balance, whereas like he's basically like you know telling you like, "Yo, I look up to Jay and all those dudes," but like also I'm just a regular dude. I had like a retail job. You know what I'm saying? I'm a mama's boy. Like it was a lot of things that like that resonated with me that like I just like understood. Like you know what I'm saying? Like at that time I was trying to buy every jersey under the sun. I wanted every Wazam jacket, every Pele jacket. I just wanted
Jeff
every
Hamilton.
fly. Yeah, I wanted every fly like pair of sneakers. I wanted to holler at girls. You know what I'm saying?
Shout out to Alwazam.
Right. I just wanted to just be like out. So hearing him like I'm like, yo, this dude's fucking speaking my language. He's speaking like what's going on right now. Like it just like makes
It's like
sense.
like a reporter of your life.
Yeah.
It just makes sense. So that's why like, and I think a lot of people agree with this. That it like Kanye, like what Kanye did with College Dropout, he kind of like spoke to a generation of kids that kind of felt like they didn't have a place.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what he did. Like it made me feel like more comfortable being around like a lot of my hood friends. Where it's like you know what I'm saying, like when they would hear like you know State Property or you know Dipset, like they were very much in the street. So like I was also that they could relate to. And sometimes I'd be like, yeah, what that mean that bar? Like, they were like, oh that's a metaphor for selling drugs. Like you know what I'm saying? Like I just certain stuff I had to be educated on. But like Kanye, like you know he just wanted to just rap and just be the best rapper, and it was just impressive. And then his backstory, man, like the romanticized backstory of the guy trying to get on, moving from the Midwest to New York City, having a coming with a near-death accident. It was like actually let me correct myself. He was the anti-50 Cent because 50 Cent had a near-death experience, and Kanye, it was like a mirror universe.
It's crazy how they were in the same universe. Like think about it now, like because 50 was like hot, and Kanye was like trying to like find his way.
Like these near-death accidents, right? And like they went on to just become so polarizing in music and controlling what's going on. So for me with College Dropout, it was very, very, very like it was a huge part of my maturation, like me kind of like exploring and like learning about other things. There's so many things that like Kanye will rap about, and like I had to like figure it out, like where to like find it or buy it or like look for it. Then learning, oh shit, he's sampling. Like I've heard that record before. Oh, it's a sped up sample.
Mm-hmm.
Then like going back, like finding older songs and stuff like that. Like it was so many things from College Dropout that you like could learn, right?
Very teaching.
What about
very educational.
Mo? What are your early memories of this album like?
This album dropped like February of 04, I think. Like, I know it dropped like around All Star Week of 04. I remember like in my crib, like you couldn't really play like rap music like that much, especially like my parents. Like I'm West Indian, so like rap music is like demonized to them, like because I like my parents like they're like churchgoers. No disrespect to the people, but listen to I was 11 turning 12, so like Kanye was speaking for me, like he was creating like a universe for me that I didn't think that like listening to it now as an adult, like I was speaking to like one of my boys this afternoon. I was telling him I was gonna like come on the show, and I was telling him about the album, and he was like, "What's your thoughts?" And I was like, "This album's like a soundtrack to like a millennial's life, like those like it gave people like hope to like follow their dreams. Like you don't always have to like go to college just to get the career you wanted. So like listen to this album like now as an adult, like it channeled that thought. But when I was 11, I was like, this guy's talking about like stuff on layaway, like when I was younger, like layaway
shit.
Yeah, like really like I like had friends that had stuff on layaway, like jackets and shit. And, like wow, that's cool. Like I'm thinking like rappers like they got like hundreds of $1,000s, and he's talking about like having shit on layaway that we like, and it was just I was very young, so I didn't understand like hip hop the way I understand it like in my later teens. But it was a breath of like fresh air because like my older brother would just play like G Unit and like Mobb Deep and like a bunch of like DMX songs.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like my introduction to rap was basically with him and my older cousin Kevin would play it. So like when my cousin Kevin brought home the I'm Good mixtape, I was like, who's this guy? And he's like, oh, the dude that made the Izzo beat. And I was like, what's you have a name? And he's like, Kanye West. And I was like, oh, the dude on the Bounce. And then I was like, oh, cool. And then he just like ever since then, like I was just been like a Kanye fan, like not the biggest fan, but I was always supported his music.
Mm-hmm.
So that's my thoughts on the album. I can't wait to like deep dive into it.
For me, it was in the beginning, 2004. I remember there was a record store, like right across the street from my crib, called Neon Leon's on 6 Mile, and he used to get records early. So like I was looking forward to Kanye dropping because I knew the story at that point. I knew about his grind to like try to make it as a rapper and whatnot. So I was deeply invested in Kanye, like, and Slow Jams was like really, really out here at that time. Yeah. And all of his production was like highlights at that time, and it was so different. So when this came out, I had it 2 days early, and I took it to school. I paid like $2 extra to have it early or whatnot. I remember I brought my
remember those days,
right? Brought my CD player to school. And I was playing the album, and everybody was like, yo, what you think of it? Or where'd you get it? Whatever. And my first listen, I didn't really like it right away. My first listen, I was like, I don't know. Like, it was exciting, like, some of the features on here, but I didn't fully grasp it right away. And I think it's because it was so different, and it's not a rap album that I was used to. It's not your typical rap album at all, especially for this time frame. This was 2004.
Yeah.
There was nothing like this that came out.
Such a Detroit nigga. He was like,
yeah,
ain't
like
no guns in this shit.
It's none of that, bro. It's nothing. It wasn't my hip hop.
To piggyback off Taurian's point, Taurian did say like Dipset, all that stuff was like the thing. So it's like to hear some dude that's just like
my ears wasn't ready.
Like just like I don't want to say a regular dude, but just say hear the guy talk about things that's relatable.
Yeah.
Like, this nigga so
this nigga like, but at the same time, you know, rap back then was like an escapism for me. So like, I mean, and sometimes at some point it still is, you know. So like hearing somebody that's like me in a sense of like not being a street nigga, just wanting to dress and present himself well, loving his mom, talking about his job, like, and then it was like, all right, well, it's this relatability that I do fuck with, you know. Like I had to go back to it and listen, and I'm like, yo, yeah, nah, this guy is amazing. And it didn't take me till like a week later to even realize Last Call was on here. Because on the first press, it was a hidden track.
Yeah, I'm gonna be real. I didn't listen to Last Call until like the year later. Because like after like 2 words, I'm not trying to hear through the wire because I saw the video so many times. It was on Rap City. Then the next hour it was on 106 and Park. It's
yeah.
So also, I had the leaked version of the album.
Oh damn!
Yeah, I bought the album when it came out,
Napster.
but I had I wasn't on Napster. I can't say where I got the album from, but I had it very early. I got it as a Christmas gift, so
That's
I had
fire.
it.
That's fire.
Yeah, so I had it early, and so I'm thinking like everything, like I have it right.
Mm-hmm.
So then the official album comes out, and then like so like the Last Call was a hidden track. Jay-Z's verse on "Let You Down" was not there.
Oh.
Jamie Foxx's ad libs on Slow Jams wasn't there on the version that I had, the bootleg version that I had. Like it was a lot of shit. It was a lot of like.
So you had like the Twista version when he was singing at the end.
Yeah. So you want to know what's funny is that in my humble opinion, one thing that we all complain that like Kanye never has the album ready. I feel like that's always been a thing, like, and it's because he's always working till the last minute. But back then you couldn't do that. Like you couldn't work on your album until like the last minute because you had to turn it in for the CDs to get pressed up. So he just had to just give it to them.
Yeah, it's crazy. No, it's just funny that like he really been doing this for like 20 years.
It's like when you just learn. I just think that some people like I have no problem saying it. I'm a diehard Kanye West fan.
Yeah,
like
music.
People, like some people like they'll like say it to me, like my girlfriend. We were in the car the other day, and like she's boycotted. Like she's been boycotting him since Donda. So she didn't listen to Donda. So she would listen to a playlist, and the Donda song came on. She was like, "Oh my fucking god!" I was like, "Just listen to it, Jesus Christ, god damn!" Like, shit.
I do know what it's like when you don't like somebody and you can't escape them. That's annoying. When you don't like, when you think of, if you think about somebody that you don't like or you have some type of disdain for, but they keep popping up, it's annoying.
I can't speak for me, but I know like if you play MF Doom around my brother, he's gonna get tired. Like, he don't fuck with MF Doom, bro. Like, I remember one time I played like, cause you know MF Doom has like different names, so I played like "Can I Watch" by Vic Vaughn. He's like, "What are you playing?" I was like, "Oh, this dude named Vic Vaughn." He said, "That's MF Doom, bro. Change that." I was like, "Wow."
I mean, you can just tell.
Nah, it's funny that you say that. I don't think musically I have anybody that like I get that frustrated about. Where I'm just like, I'm like,
I don't think I do either. But I know what I know what it could be like if you're trying to avoid somebody. And Kanye is just unavoidable.
It's Kanye West.
Kanye fucking West. He is the culture.
So yeah, like he's like I said, he's like the voice of the millennials. Like he spoke to a generation that's living now.
He is the hip hop, as Timbaland would say.
Yeah,
the hip hop.
The hip hop.
But we can get into the album itself. Kicks off with this. I mean, we don't really have anything. We don't have to say anything about this intro, do we?
No, we don't.
Nah, dude. Well, I like.
Okay, Mo, go ahead.
No. It's just like, bro. Like everyone is like now shocked that they knew D-Ray was in there.
Yo, I can't believe the amount of people that didn't
put it
know
like this.
D-Ray.
I'm not that old, but when I used to listen to albums with the CD, like I was reading the credits while listening. So it's like, even though like D-Ray name is very small, like like his name is there.
Well,
like, people thought it was Bernie. People thought it was Bernie.
Well, and then you also have to understand Bernie is from Chicago. So
he was trying to get him on the album, right?
Yeah.
But I also just knew how close D-Ray was in that time frame, and it just goes back to what you said, like reading credits. That's all it was.
Yeah.
But we don't care. We don't care. This is my shit. This song don't get talked about enough on this album, in my opinion.
Yeah.
We Don't Care is a great song.
I don't really like it.
I didn't like it at first, but like as older I get, like once I've made it past 25, I was like, wow, this shit this song makes a little bit more sense. Like even though I'm not like some street dude or anything, it's just like anything you like. It basically just showed like you can still achieve anything like minor or major, like growing up. So like. Even when he said like, yo, like talking about people working minimum wage and making $6.75, like hearing that as like 11-year-old, I was like, that's awful. But even now, minimum wage is awful still. But it, like Taurian said, like it was very relatable things he was saying throughout this album.
Minimum wage when this came out in Detroit was $7.
Oh damn!
To put that in perspective,
sheesh,
$7 in Detroit.
Probably was like $7.50 here or something.
Yeah, it was $8. It was more than that.
But my favorite line from this song is some of them dyslexic. They favorite 50 Cent song 12 Questions. I used to love that line. I don't know why.
It was Kanye West showing his like showmanship as an MC, right? And him still, because you gotta remember the circles he's around. He's around Tribe Called Quest, Most Def, Quali. Like, you know, Common, like he was really trying to show he can get these bars off, right?
Yeah.
So for this song, like, it's a very fitting song, but I don't want to hear it anymore.
I think it was a good introduction.
It was a dope introduction. I'm just trying to like, I've been struggling. I gotta be honest. I've been struggling with, am I going to talk about this album, how I feel about it in the present, or am I just going to talk about the legacy of the song? Like from like, you know, like the impact and what it did. So it's a problem for me because a lot of these songs I don't give a fuck to hear anymore, because you got to think about it. Now we have Kanye, like, because he's kept making music, right?
And progressing.
So a lot of his music is really, 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 really good, right? Like it keeps getting like he has albums like My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy, right? Or Late Registration, right? So I'm just like, damn. And then it made me think about this, right? I would say that College Dropout and Lauryn Hill's Miseducation of Lauryn Hill are like siblings, right?
That's a
so
good,
and like so let's say like College Dropout was the only album Kanye put out. Let's say like Kanye was like, oh, like he saw like everything in the industry. He was like, nah, that shit weird. Like this shit might make me bug out, and like left, right? College Dropout will probably be held like that. How the Miseducation of Lauryn Hill is, because that's all we got from him. Ooh. So what I think about is if Lauryn Hill continue making music, would the miseducation of Lauryn Hill be as big as a deal to us? Because obviously Lauryn would have kept making better music. She wouldn't have stopped.
Yeah.
She's very talented.
Yeah, she's very talented,
And
right?
lazy.
So like, let's say like she would have said, "All right, let me fuck with the industry for a little while," and like just kept making like good albums and just progressively got better and better. Like she was an amazing songwriter. She's an amazing rapper. I know that's just where my mind goes sometimes. Like some people hate it when I compare stuff all the time, but I definitely when I think about College Dropout, I can't help but think about the miseducation of Lauryn Hill, like with the whole school theme and everything like that, and then basically like. You know, like them, like 1 foot in, 1 foot out on both. It just, I don't know. It just happens to me sometimes.
Well, yeah, no, it's a great comparison because I mean, Kanye has referenced Lauryn Hill a lot in his career.
Right.
He's talked about her a lot. He name dropped her a lot about him being inspired by her and everything. So it makes sense. I think from this time frame though, why I appreciate this album so much is because in a lot of ways it is a rough draft to Kanye's career.
It's his demo.
Yeah. So there's some things on this album that I feel like he would cringe at because he's so much greater than this now. I think, but I just appreciate the rough draft in a way because you know we wouldn't have who we got years later and who we love so much, especially like artistically, if we didn't have this. Like he just has something to prove on this album, and in my opinion, he proved it. And I think Late Registration is just a more expensive, more detailed. This is a nigga that had money and nothing to lose made Registration. I mean, made Late Registration. And with College Dropout, it was more of the proof, you know? So, what's next? We got Graduation Day, which goes into All Falls Down, features Selena Johnson.
Lauryn Hill was supposed to be in the song.
It was supposed to be Lauryn Hill. It was a Lauryn Hill sample. But he got Selena Johnson.
I got a funny story. I bought that Unplugged album, right? That Lauryn Hill put out. And I got it, and when I bought it, I realized that both CDs were just this one. I was so fucking mad, and like and it was the only CD that they had. Like they got it by the record store got the shit by mistake, and they wouldn't they wouldn't refund me, and two, they wouldn't like order it from another store for me. And like nowhere in Atlanta, I was living in Atlanta at the time. Nowhere in Atlanta had that shit.
That sucks.
So man, I like
Unplugged,
that. I loved that Lauryn Hill Unplugged. Actually, like you know, that was because that was like all we could get. Like I was so desperate for Lauryn Hill's music.
Unplugged.
This was such a honest song, and this is one of the greatest hip hop videos.
Word.
It was so fucking creative. It was like. I remember back then, everybody in shit, people still asking themselves, like, yo, how the fuck...
He spilled a mustard in the shirt?
Yeah, and how the fuck did he have the camera... Like, all the camera tricks in this video still goes over a lot of people's heads.
Through the metal detector, you see his wide jaw and
shit. Yeah. It's so detailed and so fucking dope.
My biggest takeaway from this song, I remember you guys did... Life of Pablo, y'all was talking about no parties in LA. I was laughing when Freddie Gibbs said about Stacey Dash. He's like, this bitch ain't been the same since Kanye dropped her off at the airport. Oh, yeah. Every time I see that video, I'm like, damn, Freddie, why you see Stacey Dash?
Stacey Dash was so fire back then. Jesus Christ.
Honestly,
she was crazy.
I know, like women of today hate like what he said, like single black female addicted to retail.
Yeah.
Like, you know, I seen a TikTok video of like some shorty, like she took a small clip of Euphoria, and he's like single black female addicted to retail. She's like, wait, is this play about our life? And I was like, oh shit, like Kanye's been talking about like socially things since I was young.
Yeah, like that's the thing, right? So All Falls Down, like. He knew he had to make this song, like, and we wouldn't have got this song if he wouldn't have been around Dead Prez, Mos Def, Quali, like, because he was realizing, like, because you gotta remember, like, early Kanye West raps, we got like The Bounce, or we got like that song Wow that he kept trying to sell to everybody,
Yeah,
right, and he realized like, oh shit, like. I just gotta be honest
and be myself
and like just talk about like my imperfections and shit, and it worked out better for him because it spoke to more people and also it was easier to digest from Kanye because you could tell like he was just like being like he wasn't being judgy, he was judging himself, like he was looking internally when he made this song, Whereas somebody like, most might say like, damn girl, why don't you get off that stage and go raise your kids, make you feel bad or some shit like that, right? So I just think that it was easier to like come in. The production was amazing. And Kanye really took his time with this song. And I actually like Selena's version better than Lauren's version.
I do too.
I do too.
And
I mean, they're both not bad.
And I'm not saying that because that's all we heard, because mind you, because I had the bootleg version, I had Lauren's version first, and it's just that Selena has a more like Lauren's voice is very like rough.
Yeah,
it's not like, and maybe that's because like they didn't get to do all that stuff they could do in the studio and everything, but it's very rough, and I actually like how Selena's voice is very smooth over on it.
I didn't hear the Lauren version until high school because I found like
you gotta stop making us feel old, bro.
Yeah,
for real, bro.
All right, I didn't listen, but if I say the year, you're gonna be like, "Dang,
right, cool."
I want to know what year was this.
This was like 2010. Yeah.
Damn. You know what I'm saying? Damn, that was, we graduated high school in 2004.
Yeah, bro.
Bro.
That was 2010. That was like what? Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy?
Yeah,
yes.
Because I had downloaded the freshman adjustment. It was 1, 2, and 3. Because I was looking for the Where You At Boost Mobile song for like a good 5 months.
Oh, I had that on LimeWire quick.
Yeah. But yeah, I'm sorry. Tori, I'm not gonna bring up my younger days anymore. I'm sorry.
Stressing me out, bro.
I'm sorry. I love you though, Tori.
All right.
But that takes us into I'll Fly Away, which is a quick little skit with D-Ray and Tony Williams. Nobody talks about how Tony Williams kind of been there since the beginning.
A lot of people.
Tony Williams has been there since the very beginning.
I love Tony Williams.
I like Tony Williams a lot too. I was expecting us to get like a solo album from him at some point. But we never did.
A lot of good music artists we all thought that was gonna get albums.
Mr. Hudson never got an album either, right?
No.
Yeah, he just went back overseas, started doing his thing.
Yeah, he was like, yo, fuck it. I see what this is.
I remember also Kanye like when he popped, everything just came so fast. Like he was still doing beats with people, beats with his artists, beats with himself, doing tours.
He was all over.
Yeah, it's like it's only so much you could come pack in 24 hours.
Sometimes I wonder, like, I get that he has downtime, but it seems like he's always working. Even when he's not talking, he's working. I wonder, like, does he just chill and like just enjoy shit?
I don't think so. I think him doing shit is him enjoying shit.
Because I even remember like when this album came out, like he was on Dilated People album.
Oh yeah, I can't live my.
And like he was working on John Legend, as you see in the documentary. He was working on like beats with John Legend while working on his. So he
was working on Common's album.
Yeah, he was a very busy guy, like for years.
That was a crazy run for him. But I'll Fly Away skit takes us into Spaceship. Man, Spaceship comes on. It features Consequence. It features GLC. Everybody delivered on this song. Yeah. Amazing chorus.
Not one bad verse.
Not one. Yo, I worked at CVS at the time when this came out.
I work retail now, and I feel it. So I listened to the song before I punch it.
I worked at CVS. I worked at CVS, and I used to blast this in the stock room. Blasting this shit. Like, my manager would walk in and feel attacked.
Yeah. You talk about the token blackie guy. Yeah, like you feel it like
Yeah. No, this was an amazing song, man. It
the
just
sample
related,
is so amazing.
Yeah,
man. Like,
it just related to that time period so much for me. And yeah, the sample. This is Marvin Gaye, right?
Yeah, my pops taught me that. He's like, you don't know no.
Crazy. Anytime somebody get a Marvin Gaye sample clip, I'd be like, damn, man, that probably was the whole budget, right?
Yeah,
Dame Dash said,
Distant Love.
Distant Lover.
Yeah.
Every night.
Distant Lover was that shit. He used to play that. Women were fucking long.
You play any Marvin song.
You play any Marvin. Any Marvin to do
it. Yeah, I see what you. That or I Want You.
I had the Marvin Gaye.
Man, that whole the whole I Want You album would do it.
I gotta get the album cover.
Bro. Listen to Marvin Gaye live when he plays Distant Lover. Like, it's the way women was like.
Marvin,
man, that's an artist I wish I was around when.
I wish I got to see him live perform.
Yeah,
everybody say Michael Jackson. I still wish I did see Michael Jackson.
I wish I saw Mike, man. I thought I had a chance to see Mike. I thought I did.
Yeah, lucky you.
I thought I did.
Only saw
I
that
ain't
nigga
so
on
lucky.
TV.
I ain't see the nigga.
Only saw that nigga on TV.
But no, everybody had. Who do you think had the best verse on this song?
Consequence.
I think so too.
Yeah, for me, because living in Queens, dollar cabs is big, and when he mentioned that, I was like, oh, I know exactly where he's talking about taking the dollar cab. I know exactly what section his dollar cab is to get him to his neighborhood, and I walk past that shit every day, and I was like, I feel you, Consequence.
Yeah,
He was
and
going through.
Cons has a very interesting history in hip hop, right? Because a lot of people was introduced to him through Kanye, but then also he has this history with like Tribe,
Quest,
you know. So I think a lot of people forget about that and just focus on his time that he was with Kanye because it gave him the most recognition.
I mean, he got his album with good music, so it's like you remember where he got like his,
exactly. But
his solo work.
he's been around for so long. He's written for so many amazing artists.
He's just not an attractive dude. So it's really,
hey man, he don't tolerate disrespect.
no disrespect. I love Consequence. When I worked at the Levi store, actually, he used to come in and get strength to fit 501s, and like he would just come directly to me because I forgot his size now, but like I knew his size, so I would like see him and like I would just go grab him. And then it got to a point where he would like ask for me. I don't know if he remembers me, but that was cool.
Yeah, he did have the best verse. When I was younger, I said GOC, but nah, it's definitely
It was always Consequence to me on this song.
But Kanye was I'm happy Kanye did the lead off because I don't think this song would have went left if it was GLC first. This song would have went left. I like to see Freddie. Yeah. I want to hear that shit.
That's a great verse though. I like all these.
It's
verses.
No bad verse, but
But it fit. The placement fits. You right. So that leads us into Jesus Walks, which is a huge song on this album. This song was a risk at the time. Rappers weren't, I mean, this whole album, if you want to say, right? But this song in particular, what he's talking about, you know, religion and being a rapper, like rappers didn't tap into this, right? And having a rapper do this
Probably
and
DMX.
then kind of, but DMX not in this way. DMX would like have a skit on the album, as he'd have a prayer, and then he'll have something really violent right after it. So it was
Crime
like the duality.
story.
Right? But the way that Kanye did it was dope because I remember him talking about this at the time where he was like, yo, I tricked radio into playing this because I called them out in the song for not playing it. So they had to play it or whatever. Because he was like, if I talk about God, my record won't get played. So he was like, I kind of forced their hand to play this record.
Smart.
And I that always stood out to me because I was like, well, this is cool because I don't know if out here they did it, but no, they did do it out here. Where before they play a song, they'll play a snippet of the artist talking about the song, and then they'll lead into it. Like I heard that out here.
We had Flex, so he was just like talking for himself.
But different segues, different radio stations. Because like I don't know why I always remember this, but I remember when Case had "I'm Missing You" out, and he had a little segment here where he used to talk about like at the end when I say I can't sing no more, that's because I was sick, and he talks about all of that, and then they play the song. So like that's a segment I remember from over here,
right?
But Kanye, he had that segment for Jesus Walk, so I used to hear that all the time. I was like, yo, that's really dope because it ended up working out, right? And as we know, Rhymefest helped write this song, and
Good
I think.
Good writing.
Good writing. I mean, Rhymefest, they've had their ups and downs through the years and shit.
Yeah, but Rhymefest always like stays down with Kanye.
Yeah, he's a loyal man. I need friends like Rhymefest.
Yeah, like Rhymefest, he always comes around. I think it's because he has like understanding of Kanye. I like to think that like you guys are like that with me. Like you guys like understand me and like know when I kind of go off the handle sometimes that I don't mean it. It comes from a good place. I don't wild out like Kanye.
I was about to say, don't
drinking Hennessy. Just run it up for niggas.
Yeah. I'm just saying. I'm just saying though. I sometimes like I kind of like get.
I get what you're saying.
I get a little testy or whatever like that, and I have to come back and apologize, which I don't mind.
Because he's a passionate dude. I can tell Tori. Because Tori cursed me out, and then he's like, "Yo, Mom, I'm just fucking with you." I'm like, "I know."
Yeah, right. I meant that shit. But I also wanted to say that I remember when. So if we fast forward to like current day, when Kanye started doing the gospel stuff, I remember a lot of people was like, "Oh, he's doing this because he wants to get back in people's good graces." But Kanye has always been on the trajectory of doing a gospel album. And Jesus Walks was just like the sampler of it. I feel that Kanye always had like faith in God and was like very big into it. And you gotta remember, like, you know, his mother was a Baptist. You know what I'm saying? And most of us come, like, our family members come from the church and some whatever whatever, you know, sector of Christianity or whatever religion you have. And I just feel that like people like ignored that about Kanye. Like people didn't understand that. Like in his interviews, he always talked about God. Like he all like wearing the Jesus piece. Like I get like it was synonymous for like drug dealers, but people don't understand like drug dealers wore Jesus piece and angels to protect them from getting locked up from the cops because their mothers went to church and prayed hard for them, so they will wear that. Just like in the Genius documentary when Kanye's mom saw the Jesus piece, she's like, "Oh, I really like this." Because that's a very like Catholic thing to do. Like that's a very Baptist thing to do. Is like have something.
Yeah, she told me to get more angels too.
Yeah. So I just think that
she saw the good in all the things that could be perceived as reckless spending.
Mm-hmm.
She saw the good in that shit. Because I couldn't walk into the house with a chain on. I couldn't do that.
It was a point in my life I had to hide my Jordans in my bag when I was coming home.
Yeah, I could not do that.
My mom is 50-50. Like sometimes like my mom would be like, "Oh, that's really dope," or like that's nice. And then sometimes she'll be like, "All right, Taurian, you better not text me and ask, can I cash app you till next week or some shit like that." But yeah, like you know, that I think that was also like a really good thing, like what you just said, Rez, is that his mom like really like supported him in things that like he was doing that you would think that somebody would tell you. Like, nah, you fucking bugging.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that was another thing that, like, happened. Like, everybody will always tell him, no, he's coming to his mom. He's like, Mom, they tell me I can't do this. And she's like, yes, you can, Kanye.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, if your mom tells you, and that's the person, like, that you, like, absolutely trust, like, blindly more than anybody, it makes it a lot easier to go into something, like, being, like, fearless.
Yeah.
And just, like, do it. Like, this man made a fucking gospel. Jesus Walks to me as a gospel record. Like, I get it's a rap record, but it's a gospel record,
yeah.
right? He made a gospel rap record, and it actually was good. Most gospel rap is not that good.
Performed it at the Grammys, and, like, that performance was incredible.
Yeah.
Incredible performmost.
Made 3 videos.
And I'm gonna keep it a stat. Kanye's been being robbed at. Like I get it. He's the most he has the most Grammys amongst rappers. No, I think
Todd
period.
No,
I think he has the most Grammys. Period. Right?
I can
like ever. Like
yeah,
I think it's still Quincy Jones.
It's still Quincy Jones.
Yeah.
Okay, so he has the most Grammys of rappers, right?
Yeah.
But he still hasn't won Album of the Year.
Yeah.
And I think that's a huge snub to him.
Yeah.
So for me, like it's still like very, very like he still hasn't gotten like the proper recognition. Like they always keep him in the rap category. He definitely deserved at least
right? three of those. He definitely deserved 3 like albums of the year for sure.
Like I'm just saying, when you look back at the albums that came out in the years that won Album of the Year, sometimes like obviously that Adele won Album of the Year. She deserved it for 21. Like I understand that. But there's other albums that's not memorable, and I will never go back to those albums. So it's a little frustrating when you hear that.
Kanye has 22.
Kanye has 22.
Beyonce has 28.
Beyonce has 28. How many Jay got?
Hove has 23.
So Hove passed him. Okay, yeah.
So Quincy don't have it.
No,
Quincy's 28. He's tied with Beyonce.
Right.
I know, like that. They made like in his documentary, they paced that.
Yeah, because he at that time he had the most Grammys of a rapper, but you know. But then you gotta remember, like after Yeezus, Kanye started doing like weird shit, like what he did with the Life of Pablo. Like it wasn't on the album Billboard charts because you couldn't find it anywhere.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and he kept taking it off.
Yeah,
streaming.
So he kind of like hit it himself with winning awards. I personally think, and I think he stopped caring about winning awards. Yeah. But he definitely should have I don't care what album it could have been, but like he should have one Album of the Year Grammy. I
feel like he should have won it for Late Registration due to like the improvement
I think with Late Registration, what the effort that he put in getting John Bryan to work on those chords and everything like that, and how much he wanted to work. You know what? I just ordered Late Registration on vinyl. When I get it, I'm gonna listen to it in these headphones and just hit because like he really like every part of that album he really went hard with.
That album is incredible. It's my favorite Kanye album.
Mine's too. Someone don't like it though. Like one of our homies.
Who don't like it? One of. All right. Okay, Rob. So anyway, that's your homie, not mine. So we'll get into Never Let Me Down. Never Let Me Down features Jay-Z and Jay Ivy, a newly retired Jay-Z and Jay Ivy. Yeah. So hearing him on this song, hearing Hove on this song was incredible because
It shocked me.
Black Album had just came out in November. So, like, this came out in February. Everybody's like, oh, man, Hove is gone, Hove is gone. So, like, this came out, and the first verse was amazing. And then you get that amazing whole verse from whole verse from JIV, the poem, which is incredible. And then it can kind of end off on there, but then there's like a build up, right?
And then you get Hove.
There's a build up, a chant, and then Hove comes back. Like, who else you know? And it's like, oh no, we're not finished.
The rest is in the building.
I
like Kanye verse a lot of this because he's talking about I think he's talking like in third person. I might be wrong, but like, he was talking about the accident, like making a promise to his girlfriend at the time that he was like, about his dad.
Mr.
Like,
Rainey.
yeah, but I like Kanye verse. Obviously, like Jay-Z's my favorite rapper of all time, but like I was like, nigga, you just retired. Like,
was that his girl in the dock when he got in the car after the accident?
I'm not too sure. I thought it was just a taxi driver or something.
I'm always confused with like Kanye's dating history because I always thought that Alexis Pfeiffer was his girlfriend from like 2002 until 2006. But in between that, he was dating a girl that was on that reality show. I forgot the name of it. Brooke. Yeah, he was dating the chick Brooke. But it's always weird to me because I can't really call it, but Alexis Pfeiffer has always been the woman that I thought Kanye West should have ended up with. Of all the women that he's dated, I wish that they worked out. It really makes me mad. Why are you making that face, Rob?
Oh, Amber.
You call Amber? I mean, to each his own, Rob. You know, I'm not going to
like
yuck your yum. Whatever.
I know her name was like Sumeki Rainey, and that was his high school girlfriend.
Really?
Yeah, and he said, yeah, he was gonna marry her, whatever. I don't know how long they were together, but that's who I thought that was in
which girl he was talking about on 30 Hours?
Huh?
Which girl was he talking about?
Which part?
On 30 Hours, and he's like, he had to drive, like he drove 30 hours from Chicago somewhere. Drove back.
That was just he was just rapping.
He wasn't talking about Kim.
Kimmy.
No, he was not.
Nah, Kim not eating no KFC, bro.
He wasn't talking about Kim on 30 Hours.
He's like, my ex gave me.
He was referring to an ex-girlfriend.
So then,
I think he was talking about Amber.
So what? So all right. So then he talks about driving those 30 hours to beat Matt Barnes' ass.
Yeah,
he was just talking to 30.
That was a Derek Fisher thing.
And it was his suggestion to have an open marriage.
Mm-hmm.
That's what he said.
Oh, I'm not talking about that verse. I'm talking about like.
He wasn't talking about Kim. Number one, number two, he was telling the story of Matt Barnes going to fight Derek Fisher. Not him going to beat.
I was talking about the first and second verse. I wasn't talking about
30 Hours. He wasn't talking about Kim.
Yeah, he was married. He was married to you.
Yeah. 30 miles like Matt Barnes. I just took that part in 30 Hours as him just freestyling, him just saying shit. But whatever. That takes us in, but yeah. So what else did y'all have to say on Never Let Me Down?
Never Let Me Down. Obviously, like I said, like Jay-Z had just retired, so I wasn't checking for Jay-Z because I'm like, oh, it's new blood now. We're gonna see like who's gonna be the king of this rap shit. Like, and like I heard Oh Baby when they first started off. I'm like, oh, maybe just using Jay-Z's like ad libs, and then like Jay-Z's actually on the song, and I'm like, oh shit. I'm like, why the fuck this wasn't on like Lucifer or some shit like. But it's an overall great song. Like, and I like JIV's poetry.
I remember thinking when I heard this song that Hove had another album coming out that he was hinting at because he said more of them on the way, the Eighth Wonder on the way, and I was like, who is he talking about? Does he have another album coming out?
Wait a minute.
In his verse.
I'm not too sure. Tori might know. Tori might.
You don't remember his in the verse on this?
Eighth Wonder.
That was supposed to be the Black Album, right?
The Black Album was supposed to be the Eighth Wonder.
Because that was his 8th studio album.
Yeah. So I was like, okay. So then it was just an older verse then. Because this came out after.
Shit still sound fire to this day.
Yeah. It's an incredible verse.
Damn, that's peak Hove. Like,
I know. But that takes us into what might be. No, it's not that one. Okay, but it's Get 'Em High. Get 'Em High features Talib Kweli and Common. You laughing? What you think?
Shout out to the does.
It's just like listen to like Drink Chance and listen to what Kanye said. Like he was like, I was disguising myself hanging out with Kweli. I'm like,
I think he was just
he
saying
said
that to take digs,
No,
man.
my nigga.
Nah,
Like,
I think he really fucked with Kweli.
no, oh yeah.
Yeah,
No,
he was just saying
I
that
was
to
talking
take
about
digs at him.
when he said like I was disguising myself. Kanye was not a backpacker. He was never a backpacker. He was never he was never on the same wavelength as Tyler, Kweli, and most definitely those niggas.
He definitely
like,
didn't sound like a
all.
Black Moon type of dude.
He just saw like that. Okay, shit. Like I can fuck with these niggas and actually get acceptance. Like, and these niggas is fuck with me, and these niggas really like he respected them in the rap world. But like Kanye, like come on, like Kanye was the furthest thing from a backpacker. Like he didn't give a fuck about being a backpacker. He just wanted to get fly and fuck bitches. Yeah. And he just wanted to find his way into the lane. And just because I just feel like the reason why he always got put in it because he was an honest person with his lyrics. That don't make you a backpacker, bro.
That makes a lot of sense. Cause remember, like in the documentary, he's driving and he was like, "Yo, I'm like a mixture of both, like Raucous and Rockefeller." Like I see like why he didn't really want to consider himself a backpacker because he loved hip hop so much that it's duality in both of them. Like, because he loved that street shit, and he still loved the country.
It's like, well, if this is where I get acceptance, then so be it.
Yeah.
But I don't think I think he liked Talib.
Of course, yeah. I absolutely think that he likes
drinking with Noriega.
I'm not saying that he didn't like Talib. What I'm just saying, I'm just talking about him saying that he wasn't really a backpacker. Like, and he was like, he just did that because he knew that's how he was going to get on. Like, he knew that. All right, cool. Like, I gotta stop trying to make songs, you know, where I can compete with Jay-Z. I might need to take another route that'll get me attention. And he was correct. It worked.
What song was that where he said, backpack nigga with luxury taste buds? Oh yeah, that's No More Parties, right?
Yeah, a backpack with luxury taste buds.
That was a good verse.
No, but I like Common's verse.
Common was great on here, and this was like a prelude to B. Because when people heard this verse, they were like, "Oh shit, okay, Common sounds dope. Maybe they should work together." And then they did that spread on they did a vibe spread. Him, John Legend, and Common. It's one of my favorite vibe features, where they talked about their work ethic and everything. It's a really, really good back issue.
The cool thing about Common and Kanye, I remember watching like an old video on YouTube when he was like, he met a young Kanye and Kanye was giving him, like, obviously Kanye was learning from No ID and No ID introduced him to Kanye, and Kanye was making like soul beats. He's like telling No ID like, "Yo, this guy, like, I love like what you doing with him," and like later on, like him working with Common like on B, and he was like, "Yo, I connected back with him. I remember him being in No ID's basement." So like, I like what you said about that.
Yes. So this was a great Common verse. Did this? Who had the best verse on this song? Do you think it was Common?
Definitely Common for me.
But I really like Kweli's verse on this song. I really do. I really think that Kweli and that Fitted went the fuck off.
You going with Kweli? I think it was Common.
Rappers like a lost remote control.
Control rappers out of. Get it right.
Whatever the fuck.
It's really funny.
Relax.
Being a New Yorker, like Aaron Kweli, like I actually really like the way that Kweli raps.
You mean Talib look stick to your ribs?
Yeah, like I just like the way how like that interaction, how it like led from that into like how it led from what Kanye was rapping about into what Kweli, and like it had like the whole connection and everything. Like I really thought that was cool.
Okay, well that takes us into the workout plan, the new workout plan.
The worst song on the album.
The new workout plan.
I never need. If I don't ever, I'm sorry. I'm really apologize. If I never in my life again hear the workout plan ever again in life, I never want to hear the song. I never want to see the video again. There's no reason for it. Like I don't know what it is about songs and workout plans, but I hate it. I hate J. Cole's workout song too. Like just we don't need it.
His ex-girl Sumiki Rainey actually has writing credit on this song. I think she's probably in the beginning like, "Hey, what's up, girl?"
I can't put with my birth pass.
I think that was her. Yeah. That's pretty cool. But no, workout plan. I think the video made up for it because the video was so cool to me. And I don't need
and,
this song though.
yeah,
I'm never listening to this song.
I skipped this song
downtime.
when I was younger. I'm still gonna skip it now.
I never listened to this.
So I
shit.
understand what Tori said. I don't even need to see the video. It's just like
I haven't seen the video in years, but back then I enjoyed it because it was funny.
It said, yeah,
She is in that video.
World's greatest Vanessa. Right, Rob?
What else? Okay, so yeah, that takes us right into slow jams. Right into slow jams featuring Twista, features Jamie Foxx. This song was just way too good to fail. Like it was just so fucking good.
Had that shorty. Had the shorty from Caribbean.
You didn't like? Don't tell me that.
I like the video.
Twista on the song.
What? With my earth in the wind, smoking fire.
You
Listening to Keep Sweat.
You don't like that? Yeah. I mean,
Yeah, that's crazy.
What?
I didn't want the girl to speed it up. I hated that she wanted Kanye to go faster.
the shorty from Curvy Enthusiasm, the tall dark. Every time I see the video, I'm like, oh, she was in Curve, the tall dark.
Oh yeah. Oh, Alicia Tyler.
Yeah, she was in
She's a
Friends.
comedian.
Yeah, she was on Friends too.
Aisha Tyler,
Yeah.
rather. Yeah, she's a comedian. Beautiful.
Yeah.
girl.
I don't need Twistas.
Nah, this is the first time I ever heard that. I never heard
I never
anything.
after like as soon as he says, "Oh, baby, I can't do it fast," I just next.
Twista.
But I
I
can
even
get
like.
Twista.
I like the end when Twista's like, "Girl, how about my slow
yeah.
jet?" You don't even like.
I love Twista on this. I kind of wish in the doc that we got some type of glimmer of Twista making his verse because he is there.
Yeah.
He was there in the footage that we saw. We just didn't get any spotlight on him. I mean, it's not about him, but I like Twista on that a lot. It's super Chi-Town to have Twista on there, like on that beat.
He paid homage and everything like that. I feel like everybody's allowed to like not like something. Like I just like Kanye and Jamie Foxx in the song. I was cool with that.
Yeah,
Fox blew me away. Jamie Foxx really blew me away on this song.
And I love that he.
You are really young because like Jamie Foxx had an album that came out like 1994.
It was called Peep This.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I just said he was really young. Yeah, you wouldn't.
He used to sing on the show, and I'm like, oh, that's cool. I just thought he was just
so for a lot of people, this was their intro to Jamie Foxx having a singing career, and I always credited Kanye and really liked the fact that Kanye gave Jamie Foxx the opportunity to really shine as a singer. Because like we saw, if you watched the Jamie Foxx show, even you knew Jamie Foxx was a great singer. He just didn't pursue it like he did comedy at that point in his career.
Talented dude.
So yeah, super talented. Everybody knows in the black community how talented Jamie Foxx is. Everybody knows, but
it worked out.
He smoked this. Yeah, it did
that, and then went into Ray.
Yeah,
an Oscar.
He smoked this. And one thing that I like to point out, because obviously we've all at least seen part 2 of Genius, right? And them making this, was that part 2 or part? That was part two. And them making this song and how he comes up to Jamie Foxx, kind of timid in a way, to present this song and just say like, yo, yeah. They're like, yeah, tell him the idea you got for the song. And he gives them the chorus a little bit and he gives them a little bit of the first verse because it wasn't done yet. But he's like spitting it because he knows it can like be good. But then you fast forward to like them making Late Registration and him and his posture and his energy completely changed because he comes from that timid person of presentation.
His confidence got bigger.
His confidence was crazy because when he presented Gold Digger, he was like, hey, I need you to clear this Ray Charles sample for me. And he just plays Gold Digger and just crosses his hands. And I'm like, yo, this nigga knows. Like, he's reached that upper echelon that he was trying to get to.
I remember he said on Sway, he's like, I know we'll make money off Gold Digger, even though I didn't like that song.
Yeah, he didn't want. He was like, I didn't like singing.
Yeah, it's easy. That shit is like Kanye don't like shit that come easy to him, and I think that's why he talks about My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy the way that he does.
Yeah.
Because he always says like, oh yeah, it's an apology because I knew niggas would eat it up. You know, that's what they like.
What?
You wanna know what
He said Power was his least progressive song.
I know, we all saw the clip, but I'm like, yo.
I think for me the funniest thing though is that like any other rapper, Power is probably the best song that they probably will ever make in their fucking entire career, right? But for Kanye, he's just like, nah, like it's not progressive enough. Like I've already done this, and like that's like the thing with him. He's like things that he's already done, like he's past it. Like think about this. In the College Dropout, he wanted to be recognized as a great rapper, he could give a fuck about that right now. Then, you think if someone like this nigga put out Poopity Scoop,
Yeah,
It's like,
And that beat
that's
was
right. You're
hard.
right, Tur, because college rapper, he wanted to be the best rapper. Graduation, he wanted to be the biggest artist. Cause he's like, don't compare me to no rapper.
Graduation, he was all about stadium status.
Yeah.
He wanted to make shit that can ring
he
off
wanted
the
to
stadium.
be better than Justin
Like,
Timberlake.
he's like, do not compare. He said,
Yeah.
he's like, I'm going against 50 Cent, but I'm not focusing on 50 Cent.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
He was worried about Justin Timberlake, and then Jay-Z went on tour with him, and that tore him up.
Ain't that crazy? Jay-Z would never go on tour with Justin Timberlake now. And that wasn't that long ago, I don't feel like.
Why you say that? Why wouldn't he go on tour with Justin Timberlake?
I don't think the perception of Justin Timberlake as an artist is the same as it was in 2013. He would never go on tour with Justin Timberlake now.
I don't agree with that.
I think
I don't
Jay-Z, I think...
still Justin
okay.
Timberlake.
Yeah, I don't agree with that.
No.
They got too many ties.
No, they don't. But I don't think Jay-Z would align himself with Justin Timberlake because his image is so pro-black now. It's not how it was in 2013.
I don't know. It's to me, like Jay has always been like pro-black, but I don't think that.
Not like this.
I don't think that. I mean, I get it. He got the dreads and everything now, but
Yeah, but he's been
I'm
talking
sorry,
pro-black.
the locks. Jay has the locks, not the dreads. He has the locks. I don't agree. I just don't agree. I won't argue it, but I don't agree.
I don't think so, man. I think...
Like, what did Justin Timberlake do that was so bad besides leave Janet Jackson hanging?
Okay,
He still went on tour.
But it's not even just that. It's just, I mean, there's that, but also a lot of people just don't fuck with Justin Timberlake no more. And I don't think Hove would align himself with that. He's all about... He don't really align himself with a lot of niggas anymore.
But
like,
I think Jay-Z would just tour by himself or his wife. Like, I don't know.
He
that's
would just
it.
tour by himself
He
with
would
his wife.
not
I'm
tour with
just-
Justin Timberlake. I put money on that.
He went on, so you don't think he would go on tour with Eminem either?
He did the
He
home to
do
home.
shows.
He did the
do
home to
shows
home.
with him.
No.
He's not doing tours
You
with
don't think he
Eminem.
would do another tour with Eminem and get as much money as he knows he can make?
And he did. Nothing moved but the money.
Nah.
Okay.
Did he do a whole tour with Eminem? No, he didn't.
No, they did
home to home.
They did home to home.
That's it.
That was
And
the
that's-
big.
that's
no,
good.
I didn't get to go to the show,
Right?
but that was a major thing out here. Like everybody wanted to go to Yankee Stadium.
but
tour.
that's the extent of it. Something like that would work because it's Eminem and it's not overkill. They're not going city to city.
Yeah.
Like that's not overkill. That could work.
I can still see them going on tours. Like
Who?
Jay and Justin.
Justin?
Yeah.
Yeah, I really don't agree with that. Like, I would get it if like Justin did something to upset the black community. Justin Timberlake is highly upset.
He
me.
hasn't. What do you mean?
You like it's so funny right now because I feel like I'm in Bizarro world.
Yeah, like
Because I'm like if you
I
guys
thought niggas
listen,
moved
I'm
past
always
the
doing
song.
shit on Justin Timberlake, and this nigga's over here, Mr. Pro Black, talking about everybody's mad at Justin
No,
Timberlake.
because you're not being realistic.
I am being realistic.
No, you're not.
Yes, I am. Yo,
Because
man, this
that's
is
the
so
crazy
fun.
thing. That's the crazy thing about it because it's like
let
you saying
Tori
that
get
you
his piece off.
Well, no, because he always gets his piece off. I'm saying the fact that you think Jay-Z, pro-black Jay-Z, Jay-Z 2022, no, Jay-Z 2022 and Jay-Z 2013 are very different.
So
I need y'all
444
to first-
Jay-Z?
I need y'all to acknowledge that.
Rob, let me ask you a question.
I need y'all to acknowledge
I gotta
that.
ask you a question, Rob. Somebody asked Jay-Z a question. They said, so what are we gonna do about kneeling? What was Jay-Z's response?
Said we were past kneeling.
Thanks. So, Mr. Pro-Black Jay-Z is not gonna go
Okay,
on tour with
don't
Justin
give me Twitter clips.
That's not Twitter.
He
clip. I watched
said,
that
wait-
whole interview.
Yeah, I watched
but
that
that's-
shit too.
But what you just said is a Twitter clip. It's a clipping. That's just a clip of what he meant. Because now, what are people saying about Jay-Z? Because they see the outcome and the fruition of what he said.
They still saying it's a crock of bullshit. You haven't seen the think pieces about the Super Bowl?
Is it still a crock of bullshit?
They're
Because
still saying it's a crock of bullshit. They
How?
still saying that these niggas sold out to Massa to get like. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying that. I'm
Yeah,
shocked.
a lot of niggas are saying.
I'm just like, ladies and gentlemen. I feel like I'm in the Twilight Zone right now. I can't fucking stand Justin Timberlake. Fuck him. Right? Reg is always defending
Robbie
this
said
nigga.
he could beat Usher in the battle.
Reg is always
Rob said that?
Reg is the
Wow.
one that always defends Justin Timberlake.
I'm
All I'm
just-
saying
nah,
is that like I
I
think that
just
these niggas
I
are still
just
going
keep shit.
tour.
I just keep shit realistic. I don't think Jay-Z
You don't
is
keep
going
shit
anywhere.
realistic, Reg. You
I
keep
keep
shit-
shit very realistic.
Bro,
you-
and
you're
nothing
out-
move,
you very
nothing
out-
move
Yes,
but
I
that
do.
dollar, bro. Nothing.
Out the loop, how?
Because
Out the loop.
because
It
you're
sounds
literally-
out the loop to say Jay-Z in 2022 will go on tour with Justin Timberlake.
I can't wait
How
till
the fuck is Jay-Z gonna go on tour with Justin Timberlake? How?
This is the
I
realistic
was
thing
just
about
saying
Jay-Z
Justin
not going
Timberlake
on tour with Justin Timberlake. That they don't have a current
I say
record
the
out
other
right
way
now.
around, like
But if
Justin
they had a
Timberlake.
current record out right now, like how they, like
You know
how
the
they did before.
backlash. You know the backlash Jay-Z would get if he worked with Justin Timberlake
This is
now.
post
For
Men
what?
on- This is post Men on the Woods too.
Yeah.
That's
Men
what
on
I'm
the Woods
saying.
is when niggas started looking at Justin like,
That's what I'm saying. Like Jay-Z is very aware of his image. He's not going. Sure, he can be friends with him. I'm pretty sure
Torian,
they're still
like you
friends.
said, I still think them
but
niggas
that
could
don't
go on tour.
move. That don't move shit the same way that it did back then. It just doesn't. He knows that.
Personally, you just giving Jay too much credit. To be honest with you,
Too much credit, or just like I'm just seeing Jay for how he moves. That's not too much credit. Credit in what sense?
I don't think he trying to protect his image because he would have been cut off mad niggas. He would have
Like who?
Justin Timberlake if he wanted to. Like you
Nah, but we're not talking. But past that, but who else is an example of who he would cut off if he wasn't
like a
protecting his
white
image?
artist or like just
Like in general.
See, that's like a large list. I can't think off the top of my head right
That's
now.
what I'm saying. Like, I mean, and I hate to divert this as far as possible, but it's still a good conversation. It's something to talk about. I just don't think he will go on tour with Justin Timberlake anymore.
Yeah, I still think
that shit
If
is
they
sell.
threw money at both of them, they're gone.
I don't know, man. But Breathe In, Breathe Out, worst song on this album. Features Ludacris, in my opinion.
I like the beat. I just like the beat. I don't care that much for the lyrics.
I never really cared for the beat either.
I just always like that beat. I used to like rap on it. It's trash, but yeah.
Give us a bar.
Nah, you good, bro. you good off that. Your thoughts on this song, Torian? Same thing.
I'm not a fan of this song either.
Worst song?
This song and workout playing, like really, like I'm like
And it came back. It came right after each other.
I guess it's I'm like, yo, for all this, he could have put Wow on the album.
Wow came out eventually.
Yeah, but like he could have put Wow. Like, do you know that everyone and their mama heard Wow?
Mm-hmm.
Like,
Yes.
like he rapped that to everybody. Every interview he did, he talked about that song that we
Killing
never
y'all
got on the album.
niggas on that
Yeah.
lyrical shit.
I thought it was a good chorus. But yeah, Breathe In, Breathe Out. Sorry. New Workout Plan, worst song on this album. Breathe In, Breathe Out, second worst song. But that takes us into School Spirit with this Aretha Franklin, what you call it, sample. Rest in peace, Aretha Franklin. I didn't know back then. I always thought that since I had the album like a couple days early, that I had one that was fucked up that just had this shit censored. But it turns out it's censored because Aretha Franklin wouldn't approve it. If it had curse words on it. So she didn't want to approve it. That was the only stipulation that she had for approving the sample.
Oh, didn't know that.
Yeah. So, but it is a good song. It fits. I never see him. He's never gonna perform this song.
Definitely now the well.
Yeah,
Kanye
it doesn't fit anything. It's like
this song,
Alpha Step.
This song, this part of the album is a long stretch of just terrible songs that he made that I don't need. Like, and I'm not saying like obviously like his production quality is always gonna be A1. But the subject matter in these three songs, like obviously I like it. I'm gonna get on this TV, mama. I'm never gonna let these light skinned niggas come back in style. Like I like that shit, but I don't need it.
That was so unnecessary for him to say at the time too. Like, bro, like
Kanye was always humorous and just like he always had little lines here and there like that.
Man, I didn't need it.
Y'all want to talk about the Lil Jimmy skit?
no. Well, it's not really. It's like,
I miss his skits.
Yeah, nah, I do too. His
he's-
skits were funny.
He's like, you'll be assistant secretary and shit. And then he's talking about my dad died, he got degrees.
Yeah.
And when I die, I'm gonna have degrees.
And those homeless people, they got newspapers. But you know what I got? I got
My degrees. I thought it was funny, but
Now look at today.
Two Words is my shit. Like
That song
I
now
like
to
Two
me.
Words even more now than I did back then. Two Words features Mos Def, Freeway, and the Boys Choir of Harlem. It's a great song. We saw in the doc how much he believed in this song, because he just randomly walking up to Mos like, "Yo, could you spit a piece? Could you spit a piece of that?"
Yeah.
But Mos Def being so cool, he's just like, "All right, sure," and like just
Shout
gets
out Wood
into it.
Harris just being in the cut, just
Yeah,
like
just
smiling
there.
mad hard.
He, Wood Harris just being the cut a lot. I feel like.
Wood Harris.
Well, Harris is dope, man.
Yeah, nobody. He got to get his flowers. Like,
You don't want him, yo.
yeah.
Well,
I think
Harris
he's chilling. He
just-
just like getting his checks. He gets his checks and he good. But yeah, Two Words is great. Who y'all think had the best verse on here?
Most, but my favorite is Freeway. Most at the best. It's more educated than all of them.
Mm-hmm. And you think? Nah, I think
Like Taurian said, most stuff is bad intimidated, bro. Like he's like 2 words united, say no love. I take black folks, like fat folks. Like damn, nigga, what's calm down?
For me, it's hands down. Most Def had the best verse on here.
It is. I think it's most.
He was definitely intimidated. I see.
And then what hasn't been said about Through the Wire, right? Through the Wire follows that. It was the song that made this album even get a release date. Like it's such an important part of this album and a part of Kanye West's career. Came out with Through the Fire sample from Shaka Khan, and she hates this song. She absolutely hates this song. Still, she only approved this sample because of her son. She approved it because of her son, and I read somewhere that she asked Kanye about how it will be used or whatnot, and he said like, "Oh, you're still gonna be on the song," and she was like, "Oh, okay." Like she didn't ask to hear it, and she didn't know which way he would use it, but she approved it because she would still be on the song. So she was like, "Oh, he can't mess it up," and she was like, "He completely screwed it up. He found a way to screw it up."
Because I don't think she understood that most hip hop songs are sped up samples of soul songs. Mm-hmm. Like that's the art of sampling the record.
Yeah.
So it's just a little unfortunate, but that's what happened.
Even though as hip hop fans we can hear that song and be like, "Man, this is genius." Like we can react to it how like Pharrell reacted to it when he first heard it, where it's like, "Man, this is genius." Like this guy is really rapping through the wire. Yeah. Like it's just it's a genius to it, and
I'm mistaken. He re-recorded it after the first time he recorded it. Right?
Yeah, because like the part where he says same hospital that Biggie Small died. Like originally said same hospital where Biggie and Tupac died.
Yeah,
and like,
he was wrong.
Yeah. But damn, she hated the song. That
she didn't like the
that
song.
reminds me of like when Lupe, like Pete Rock was mad at Lupe when he did over Troy because Lupe was talking about the governor. He's like, this has nothing to do with Troy. Yeah. And Lupe said, niggas talk about fucking other niggas' girls on this beat before. You didn't say anything. Like, why are you attacking me? And they had like their little back and forth.
I ain't gonna lie, Lupe was right.
Yeah, like he's like, people reminisce over everything. I'm just talking about what's going on in the world right now.
Yeah.
He was like,
yeah,
damn.
I agree. That Lupe was right.
But no, like I've always loved Through the Wire, and it's part of what made me a huge Kanye fan. Was Through the Wire, because you even just hearing the song and hearing how he sounded and just knowing that he was so determined to make it, like, is how you get a song like that. Like there's just pure like hunger in a song like that.
I love when he was talking like after every verse, he's like, "Damn, my mouth wide shut."
Yeah, because he wanted you to fucking get the point. Yeah. Like, yo, I'm fucking.
And in the video, you hear D-Ray without an arm. I swear.
Yo, I fucking love.
I like see the live clip that like.
Yeah. My nigga hold it.
He said, "You make me want to get in the accident." Good times.
This song is followed by Family Business. Family Business is a really, really. I hold that song close. I actually cried to this song before because it's such a good song and it's such a it has such a homely feel to it and such it's so personal. And I wish, I know we keep referencing the documentary, but I do wish Scarface had a verse on this. I think he would have he's great in zones like this. Like intimate, and
Kanye knows that.
Yeah, and so Kanye sought him out for 2 songs that he would have been perfect on: Jesus Walks and Family Business.
Family Business for sure.
Yeah, he would have sounded so good on this.
I have something to say. It's frustrating that in this moment thinking about this, I kind of understand when a lot of people that are native to Chicago how they felt. Like they was like, yo, how you was sleeping on this shit just because this dude was a little different. Why the fuck y'all just ain't listen? Like this nigga was giving y'all showing you people greatness and trying to say listen, I have this idea, this is great, and some people would just turn it on because they didn't see the vision, they didn't just shut the fuck up and listen. Mm-hmm. And I really understand that because it's just when you think about that, Scarface. Number one, you're Scarface, so it's just obviously you're a well-respected, renowned artist. But it's how the fuck couldn't you have had the foresight as an amazing artist to not get on this? I would be I will be hard pressed to like find out that like there's like people early in their careers that like Quincy Jones like said like, yo, I got this idea for you, and like turned him down. And I think that's the thing that like people are so upset about. It just hit me because like Robert tell you, I've been in I've backslid into some clubhouse rooms to argue with people from Chicago. But
oh man, Rob got some beef with Chicago too.
It's just frustrating when you think about such a talented person, right? And you're like, yo, he went to this man because obviously like he Kanye has a gift where he's like, I know how that you will do well on this song. Mm-hmm. Please work on it. And then like other people don't see the vision, and then like we sit here and talk about like, oh man, that would have been great. And then you think about that, like he's given like Scarface some of his last big songs anyway, right? Like,
definitely.
And that's the truth for like a lot of artists. Like it's like Kanye just understands things a little bit better than other art. Like think about his other peers of producers, right, that work with other artists. And how they do with those artists and how Kanye does with those artists. Mm-hmm. Like Kanye actually can like take an artist and probably like give them like the biggest hit they ever had in their career, or like make them feel a certain way. But then you have other producers who are like quote unquote great. Sometimes like certain things just don't work out. But like I think, and I could be wrong. I'm pretty sure people want to prove it. But like Kanye has less misses than hits musically. Like I'm not talking about like hits like a hit record like Billboard. I'm talking about like as far as like being right when it comes to music. Like Kanye's been right more, like if people would just like shut up and listen to him musically. That's only all I'm talking about. Musically. Just shut the fuck up and listen to him, you'll be a lot happier. Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
that's true.
Like this song is just like so good.
It's a great song.
I play this song every day on Thanksgiving, like every day. Like it's every like
it's a good Thanksgiving song.
Like every like it's just like thinking about it, like Scarface, like perfect song for him. Mm-hmm. Just like that's his bag. Like like Pain, like nothing.
I don't understand how he wasn't convinced with hearing Kanye rap that first verse to him. Like he looked like he was trying to write then and there, and I don't know his creative process. Maybe that's how he operates, where like he needs to hear that on the spot and feel that on the spot to be invested. But Scarface.
Oh, you probably just said like, yo, maybe I'll come back to it. Like we don't know.
And
like,
he just never got to it, but it's alright.
What he said, I'll be back.
Yeah. I still remember that. I remember Kanye say, yo, it's Scarface.
It's Scarface. They just appreciated him coming through, even though it didn't work out.
That was. Yeah, man, I love that song a lot.
Yeah.
I like, Mommy and Daddy, can y'all stop fighting?
Right.
Like, even the start of the song, he said, hey, how your son did? I heard he made the basketball team. Like,
and that's the leeway that Kanye has as a rapper, because I think him as a rapper, he's able to tap into shit that doesn't necessarily have to be his real life. True. Like him he paints a lot of scenarios. So like, a lot of rappers aren't able to do that. I know Wayne has talked about being jealous that Kanye can do that, where he can tap into scenarios and shit. Like, even like 18 years, like it comes off, he wasn't talking about his life then, even though it mirrors his life now, but he wasn't talking about shit that was in his life. Like Family Business paints a picture that doesn't
like other people's lives.
And that's why it gives it this extension.
It's a third party, like a third person.
He gives a lot of third person type verses, and that's part of his greatness, because it can reflect, and it can hit, and it can touch someone out there because they could be going through that. Like
yes,
even his first verse on All of the Lights. His whole verse on All of the Lights.
Even the second verse was straight in order. Can't see my dog.
Crazy
thing now. They're
right?
Like
that's what I'm saying.
It's crazy because Rick Ross wrote that verse. That was Rick Ross's song.
Yeah.
He originally gave it to Rick Ross, and it was called Ghetto University. Rick Ross, and he loved it. And he was like, "Yo, I want the whole song." And Ross was like, "It's yours." Like, fuck it.
Sound like Rick Ross. Straight in order. Can't see my daughter. But so that takes us into the conclusion of this album, which is Last Call, which is 12 minutes and 40 seconds long. Last Call ends off this album as like his victory lap. Mm-hmm. This is the song. This is the song where you get, he gets to use all the things that he's been trying to force feed everyone in Rockefeller offices, right?
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
all the colorful lines that they looked over that he had to like really make them believe was really good.
The last 5 minutes of this song is basically like the last 10 minutes of the episode 1 when he's just
Yeah.
trying to get side.
Yeah.
And like he's just like walking around.
Yeah,
like
man,
this,
and I can't listen to this song without listening to the whole thing.
Yeah.
This whole song is an experience. Like to even, back then, in album booklets, people had thank yous, and on this song, he instead of having his thank yous, he just has this song, like the last 5 minutes of this song, where he gets to reference all the people that played a part, that didn't believe. He gets to name check all these people, and I thought that was like amazing. I think what stands out about this song are a lot of those things in the last half, but the first half, he's still really rapping.
He still said the Miracle Whip line.
Yeah, he still said that Miracle Whip line because he really believed in that line. I thought it was a great bar.
At the time.
But I have like a part of this song on my arm. It was my second tattoo.
Wow.
Like ever. But yeah, this song means a lot to me because it speaks to the culmination of Kanye and to his brilliance. And the fact that he said they thought that the College Dropout would drop and then flop, like on the College Dropout.
Yeah.
That was like the foresight to
There's
that.
a
was
lot of lines
crazy.
that stuck out to me in this song. He's like, should I let these dream killers kill my self-esteem or use my arrogance and steam?
power my
Yo, like that shit always stuck out to
Yeah.
me. Like, and then he talked about the shorty Bun B was with at the All-Star game.
Mhm.
This song is like duality in this
Everybody
song.
always talks about how nice Bun B is too.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, Bun B is really like. Obviously, he's a lot older than me, but he absolutely has grandpa vibes.
Yeah.
Like, but he's very like welcoming and friendly and nice. Like, he's very, very nice.
One of my favorite Bun B verses is Supposed to Bubble. His verse on Supposed to Bubble on, I think, their second album. I think it's Riding Dirty.
So yeah, him ending this as like his victory lap, him giving like, oh, like I didn't know if they thought I was gassing, but I told him Rockefeller was interested. Like that whole run that he did was really cool. And overall, it's like one of my favorite outros of all time.
And Dame said, "You don't want to catch a brick.
Yeah,
You don't want to
get
catch."
under this umbrella, you get rained on.
Yes.
Nah, it is one of like the greatest like outros ever, right? And arguably, I say it's like one of like the greatest like songs ever. And I picked up Rob today on the way over here, right? And like it's really one of Kanye's career. Like Kanye, like if they ever make a movie about Kanye, it has to be like Almost Famous.
Oh yeah. I remember that movie.
It has to be like that because Kanye was like a fan, and he was just like this kid who just loves hip hop, and like he like was doing everything that he could to like get on, right? And if you really think about it, it's kind of like he was like Jay-Z was his idol. So it's just like imagine like whoever like your idol is in whatever profession that they do, like you get to like work with them in some capacity and be around them, and then impress them so much where it's like you just as good as them, that you become as big as
Even bigger
than them, right? And then it gets to a point where it's like you kind of like are telling them, like you're directing them how to record music or like what to do, or like telling them how to like do things or like no, that's not right. Like Kanye went from being like this humble person, like talking, looking at the floor to Jay-Z, to when they were recording Watch the Throne, like they were at each other's throats.
Arguing and shit.
And shit. Like Kanye jumping on tables, like, yo, like, all right, cool. We ain't gonna have 6 ballet dancers on stage, but I'll be damned if we not gonna have on all Givenchy. like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's just a real thing. Like with his career, like with a lot of artists, their dreams come true to an extent, but I feel like Kanye kind of like did the best out of everybody. Like, cause it's like he was signed by like his idol. It's literally like if like say like 50 Cent, he wasn't signed by his idol. He was signed by somebody that believed in him. The people that he looked up to, like obviously like Jam Master Jay, but he was killed, so he didn't get to like see that to fruition. But like, and a lot of the times, like a lot of artists, like it's not that way. Like Kanye got to do something that's kind of like unheard of, right? And then Big Sean was like the follow up to that. But I don't think that Big Sean has like, he's not like at a status where it's like he could like challenge Kanye for like status or anything like that, right? So it's not like, that's what I'm saying. Like on the level of what Kanye achieved is crazy.
Well, when you say challenge, what do you mean? Like challenge what?
Like what he said earlier about the like he said, I'll be damned if it's no ballet dancer, but we be.
Like I don't think that like, all right, put it like this. I feel that Big Sean isn't like Jay-Z and Kanye are equals. I don't think that Kanye and Big Sean are ever be equals.
No, okay, so I agree with that, but I think he could challenge him on like on his demands on something for an album or whatever. Because when you technically look at it,
I mean, okay,
yeah,
all right, yeah,
he's Good Music's like most successful artist.
Okay, so Big Sean can say that like he's more successful than John Legend.
I think he has more plaques. I want to say.
Yeah, Big Sean has the most platinum plaques for a good music artist.
Okay, yeah. I'm just saying because like John Legend, doesn't he have an EGOT?
Well, yeah, I mean he has. Yeah, that's true. Okay, so you're right. Not successful. Longest standing good music artist is what I meant.
John Legend was the first good music artist.
Yeah,
but John Legend
first one to go platinum too.
He was the first artist to release an album on
Big Sean. But Big Sean has 5 albums with good music.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'd just say like Big Sean would probably be the most consistent good music artist. You could probably say.
All right, I'm not going to argue it. I just think I don't think Big Sean has that status, but
yeah, I don't think he could challenge Kanye.
I just think
anything
that,
creativity.
Like I said, it's just when you look back at it, like what Kanye achieved, like I think that's another thing that like really is disappointing to everyone is because like we all were rooting for Kanye, like we because we all felt like like it would be so cool if you could be signed to Jay-Z's label and like be able to work with all these people and do these dope things, and then like we see some of the things that like he's done in the media and it hurts. Yeah. What, Rob?
John Legend got 12 Grammys.
Yeah, that's why I corrected myself. He said EGOT, and I meant like good standing artists, the longest good standing artist. How many albums does John Legend have with good music?
Probably the first 4, if I'm not mistaken. Hold on.
I don't know how many albums he have, but I just know that Big Sean is not Good Music's most successful artist.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just, like I said, it's just great to see Kanye when we revisiting this album, like it solidifies me in the fact that like, you know what, I know Kanye like
marbles
be going like off like he be going off the handle, but like I still find him endearing and I still like love the guy. And this album like helped me grow. It was a part of my childhood and it helped me grow up into the man that I am today. So, you know.
Like you said earlier before we started recording, he's been the same dude. He just got much bigger.
Yeah, he got more money. You know, the money kind of made him more of what he already is, and it's unfortunate, but you know it is what it is. But you want to get into this rating?
Yes, yeah, we can do that. Mo, you want to kick us off?
Out of 5 waffles, I'll give it. Since I have room for an improvement, I'll give it a 3.5. Like you'll definitely see because in late registration, you've seen like the confidence in like each song. Like he just sounds like, yo, I already knew what I had to get better than in the last album. I'm going to come back, like you mentioned, John. Right? I'm gonna use my budget to get the best sounding team I could get, which he did. He got some of the biggest legends on the song, and like he took home 3 Grammys. So it's like you definitely saw the improvement in the second album. And
right. Shit, late registration's not. I mean, College Dropout's not even mixed.
Yeah, it's not.
Yeah.
He just wanted the album out.
That's the rawness that I like about it, though.
Yeah. I'll go next. I agree with Mo. 3.5 out of 5 waffles. And it's because I'm judging Kanye against Kanye. So if I'm judging Kanye against some of his best projects, like this album, this album isn't. I'm trying to ask myself, does College Dropout make his top 5 in his albums? So yeah, I give this album 3.5 out of 5 waffles.
I give this album a 4. I'm not judging it off his. I'm not judging it with his other albums at all. I'm judging it as a singular piece of work, and just knowing the work that he put into this album and the product. You know, like just you know, we went through the whole album, and we have what, 2 duds on here?
We have 3 duds.
What was the other one?
So I'll tell you right now.
New workout plan.
New workout plan.
Breathe in, breathe out.
Breathe in, breathe out. And then there's one other song that I said I wasn't.
You say you didn't like Twista, Slow Jabs.
Well, no,
Well,
that's
that's
not
what
the dud.
that, that's not a dud. School Spirit.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay, I'll give you that.
School Spirit is just not for me.
I think so. I give it a 4 because the culmination of this album is very important to the product itself. It's such Kanye is he's very good at bringing his fans along with the process because he knows they'll be that much invested in the work, and that worked for me with this album. I think this album ties so much. This is one of those albums, and I like to always separate my ties and how an album personally impacted me with just looking at the work, right? And this is one of those albums I just can't do that with. Like, this album is tied to my 2004 in a way that, like, they're like just bound. I can't separate them at all. With the songs that I don't like on here, it's just like, whatever. This is Kanye in his beginning stage of like figuring shit out. And I always like the beginning stage. There's something about the beginning stage that's, you know, it's special. Like, and what came out of it is just amazing. Like, the fact that he flipped the samples that he flipped on here. He got a Aretha Franklin sample cleared. He got
a Marvin Gaye sample.
He got a Marvin Gaye sample cleared, which is like
that's
fucking
more important
impossible,
than anything.
You know, he got Shaka Khan cleared, even though she fucking hates the song. You know, like he moved like fucking mountains to make this album happen, and the final product is amazing.
You know
there was nothing like this shit.
You wanna know also what's impressive? Of all the artists that he brought on this album, he still is the shining light of the album.
Yeah,
sure.
That, and a lot of the times when artists do that, like, they kind of get outshined, or at least on one song. And it's like, obviously, like, all the rappers out-rapped Kanye, but you just, like, whether it was his production or what he rapped about, it just meant more what he had to say than the other artists.
Yeah, his point was
his
that
message meant more.
Yes, and his point was that he can hold his own with these rappers, and I feel like a lot of these artists that rap kind of comes, or people see rap as secondary to them. They have an album like this because of Kanye, where they set out to really prove themselves amongst other rappers. Like Childish Gambino has Royalty, the mixtape, where he has RZA on there, he has Nipsey, he has Ghostface on there. He has like all these rappers because he was in that stage of trying to prove himself as a rapper. What he's become now is more of a fleshed out artist, but like, you know, the evidence is there. I think with this album, I just can't bypass it as like being a 3 for me, because of those reasons.
Oh, we said 3.5.
Because there was room for improvement. Like
and he perfected that with late registration, with the budget and like the confidence. Everything was like up a notch.
I respect your grading. I mean, like,
I didn't understand what
you're saying. No, it's not a bad. It's
not
just
yet. None
me,
of us gave bad grades.
Yeah, and like I said, for me, even if I don't like compare it to his other albums, I don't have the same airs that I had when I was 17. When I was 17, this album was a classic to me. But listening to it now, I'm just like, I can't help, like, I've grown. So on certain things, I'm just like, you know, this isn't as, you know, it don't hit me the same. Like, there's today's songs,
time, it don't.
Like, obviously, like, you know, there's certain songs that still hit me the same no matter what, right? But a majority of the songs don't. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like We Don't Care don't hit me the same at all. Like, you know what I'm saying? Even though it's still a great song, like, it don't hit me the same.
And it has a good message, but it's like,
but you know, that's all. But I think we can wrap it up.
Yeah, man. That overall great episode, y'all.
Thank you guys for having me.
We killed that, man. Thank you for stopping by, Mo. And
2 great gentlemen.
2 hours.
I'm First Class Regg.
And I'm Taurian B.
And we out of here.
All right, catch you next time.
Peace.